All right, guys, today we are going to set up Facebook ads. We are going to do the first. If you've never done it before, this is a walkthrough on how to do it from design, copy, pixel, all that good stuff. So this might be a little bit longer than you're used to, but hopefully it'll help you especially if you're a beginner. So what we're going to do is we're going to run ads to this page right here. And we're going to get people to opt in, and that's where we're going to send our traffic. So before we run ads, let's make sure that this is compliant with Facebook. There should be no income claims. There should be, like, this probably would not fly. It's too much of an income claim. And an income claim is really when you suggest that you can make a certain amount of money, especially in a certain amount of time. So please make sure you review Facebook policies, and I will link them up so that you can review them, because Facebook is pretty nitpicky, especially lately, and I want to make sure you guys don't get shut down. Okay? So that's the first thing, is to make sure your page is compliant. The second thing is that we are going to put a pixel on this page right here. And why this page? We're going to do it on this page because that's how we know that people have opted in, right? Nobody will see this sales page unless they first opt in. So we're going to put a pixel right on here, and that's how we're going to track how effective our ad is. Now, if you're using Chrome, up here, you'll see there's this thing called the Facebook Pixel Helper. I would install that. It'll help make sure that you've set up your pixel correctly. So let's do that first. Let's make sure our funnel is ready to run ads to before. So we check for compliance. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put a pixel in our funnel. So if you go to the settings here, right here where it says head tracking code, this is where we're going to put our pixel. So go over to your ads manager, go into your ad account, and up here at the top, click on pixels. Okay, I have not set up this pixel yet. This is a brand new one. So we're going to do the manually install the code yourself. And here is the pixel. So just copy that and go over to here and paste that in. And then hit save and update settings. That will make it so that every single page in the funnel now has a pixel. And you can see here how it says a little 2. It shows the Facebook pixel with the page view and the microdata. Okay, so now we know that the funnel is got the pixel installed. But what we want to do is we want to measure the people who are opting in. We want to know who's actually putting their email address in when they see the ad. So we're going to go here and we're going to click on continue. We're going to track leads. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the lead one. And what we'll do is we will get this little thing right here, this little piece of script. And we're going to copy that right here. And we're going to go just into the sales page because that's the one we want to track. We want to track when people land on that page, we know that they've opted in. We'll go into settings, tracking code. And we will, make sure it's on the header. Paste that in there and hit save. Now you'll see when you look at the opt-in page, you'll see, oh look, here's the Facebook pixel. But when you refresh this, you will see now that there's a number 3, which means it's now tracking this as a page view, yes, but it's also categorized this one as a lead. Now our funnel is ready for ads. Now we've set that up. Now for those of you who want to get super tricked out, you can add more event codes to these other pages. So if you go over here, and I'm just going to show you this, if I hide instructions, I could also do initiate checkout, for example, and I could take this little pixel right here, and I could go to the order form, because when somebody clicks on the order form, are they initiating checkout? Yeah, kind of. And we could go in here and go to this, not the custom CSS, the tracking code here. And I could put that here. And why would this matter? This would matter because when you're in your Facebook ads, it'll show you what pixel snippets are firing. So it'll say, okay, there was 20 page views. It'll say there were 10 leads, let's say, and then it'll show you how many people initiated checkout as well. So that might be interesting information that you want to know based on what ads are working. So this one would be a page view and initiate checkout. And then I probably would skip this one, but I would go all the way down to here, and I could put in a purchase. Where is my purchase? Here's my purchase right here. Now it's going to ask for a value, and without getting too technical, the reality is that anyone going into your funnel could spend a different amount, right? They could spend maybe 27 if they just buy the first product, or they could spend 100 if they buy all the products. So the conversion value is difficult here because, we could go based on average cart value, but we don't really know what the average cart value is. So typically when I'm doing this, I would just do whatever the first tripwire product is. I would just put that dollar amount for now, knowing that that may not be completely accurate because you may get a higher conversion, a higher average cart value, excuse me. Again, you don't have to do all this. I'm just showing you what you can do if you want to. All you really need to do is make sure that the pixel is here in the head tracking code, and that we have the little lead snippet here on this one right here. This is the most important one. But for those of you who want to know how people are getting those ad reports where it shows how much how much you're making on your ads, it's because they have a purchase pixel on the order confirmation page. Okay, so that's that. Your pixel, once you're done, should show active, because if you keep refreshing the page, you will see that it'll show, look, 4 page views on this pixel. That's because I kept hitting refresh on the funnel. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next thing, which is we need to set up our ads. In order to set up ads, I want you to think about Facebook like this. In fact, let me just I'm going to pull up a little Google slide here to show you what's going on here on Facebook. If you're a beginner, this can really help. I want to show the difference between a campaign, an ad set, and an ad. So Facebook is designed with campaign objectives. So this is the campaign objective level. Okay, so when you set up an ad, if we go over here and we go into the ads manager, when you click create, it's going to ask for a campaign name. It's going to ask you about a campaign objective. So there's a bunch of objectives here, right? And the ones that are most common, I mean, everybody uses different ones for different reasons, but for a typical sales funnel, you're most likely going to choose conversions as your objective. Sometimes you can do traffic, which is basically like optimizing for people to click on the ad over to your funnel. But conversion is basically saying to Facebook, I want you to find the people who have a history of actually converting on ads, whether it's putting their email address in or purchasing. I want those types of people. Whereas when you create an objective for traffic, you're saying to Facebook, hey, Facebook, go find the people who are notable for clicking on ads. They may or may not convert. So it's a little bit lower quality. The reason why people use traffic is they use traffic a lot of times in retargeting ads when they know that someone is already in their funnel, or they're warm or hot traffic, and they don't really need to worry about the conversion objective. They just need to get the ad in front of them to get them to click. Another reason you might use traffic would be if you're trying to get your pixel to fire a bunch of times because you want Facebook to get to know your ideal customer, and you just, it's going to cost a lot for conversions on the front end. You don't have a big budget. That might be another reason. So there's a bunch of reasons why you use traffic, but for the purposes of this, we're going to use conversion. Okay. And then you can I'm going to just say here, like test campaign, OFA. All right. So that's what you're doing first, is you're setting up the campaign objective, and we're going to just use conversion. Now, the next thing they're going to ask you is the ad set. Ad set typically falls inside of a campaign objective. Okay, so here's an ad set. And this is where you determine things like placement. That means like where. Is it going to be on Facebook? Is it going to be on Instagram? Is it going to be audience network? So you're going to do placement, you're going to do budget, like how much are you going to spend a day? You're going to do audience. Those are the three big things that are determined at the ad set level. This is also where split testing happens. I mean, you can split test at the ad level too, but a lot of split testing happens at the ad set level. And where does it happen? It happens in the audience targeting. This is where you do a lot of testing, okay? So inside a campaign, you could have a lot of ad sets. So you could see, I'm just going to make it kind of like nesting in here like this. Okay, so that's pretty common to have like multiple ad sets. Now, when you go to set up here, it's going to ask for a new ad set. And if you don't have any yet, I'm just going to write here ad set 1. You can do the same thing. And then inside the ad sets are the ads. And the ads are where you have things like the creative, which is like the copy. Okay, that kind of stuff. And like what type of ad is it? Is it an image ad? Is it a video ad? That kind of stuff. So that's what's kind of happening at that level. And you can also split test at this level as well. But what happens is the ad goes tucked inside the ad set like this. Just want to explain this. Actually, let me make it even smaller so you can see. There we go. So when you go like this, you can see maybe you have two different versions of the ad and they're kind of nestled in. So if you set your budget, let's say you set your budget to $20 a day, Facebook is going to split the $20 between these two ads. So that's kind of how the campaign rolls out. So I usually, when I'm setting it up and I do, okay, test campaign, I do ad set 1 and I do ad 1 because I don't have them created. So I just hit save to draft. What it will do is it will create the campaign. Inside the campaign is the first ad set, and inside the first ad set is the ad. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so I want to go all the way down to the ad level for a second here, because this is, obviously you'll see that you've got like different errors and stuff, and that's just because you haven't filled everything out yet, so don't panic. So choose the Facebook page that you're going to run ads off of, and then here it's going to say create ad or use existing post. Super important. You can, if you want to, use existing posts that are already on your page. So if you went to your page and you did a Facebook Live, or you put up an image, or you put up any kind of post, you can go in here and you can create an ad directly from a Facebook Live. So I know when Anthony DiClemente from Biohacking Secrets was trying to figure out what hooks would work for his funnel, he did a Facebook Live every single day and then just ran an ad to it. So you can do that, where you can create like this. It's already got 37 comments and 7 shares. Like I can run this as an ad. Now you can see here it says videos can't be longer than 60 seconds for the Instagram feed. The reason why that's showing right now is because I haven't set up my placement and my budget. I went right to the ad level. So don't, panic about that. You can also add a call to action button if you want to. So if you wanted this Facebook Live to have a button that goes into your funnel, right, which you probably would, you would go over here, you'd get your link, you'd place it in here like this, and you'd update the post with this little link right here. Okay, so that's how you would do an existing post. Now, if you want to actually create an ad, you would click on create, and you could do image or video, you could do the carousel, or you could do a collection. I think for the sake of simplicity, you should probably just stick with ad that's an image or video. You can see here the dimensions are 1200 by 628. If you go into Canva, Canva is completely free. You can find the Facebook ad right here at the top and pull that up and grab one and modify it and download it. And I would create a couple different versions of it. It's important to make sure that the the text on the ad is not more than 20% of the image, or it will really cause problems in your, basically in your deliverability of the ad. So I'm just going to download that one, for example. That probably would not make a great ad, by the way. Remember, you always want to think about pattern interrupt. So you can select this image. I'm going to upload. So there is the image, and then you would put the text, the website URL, the headline. This is your headline. This is what goes above the image. This is where you'd put your URL. Okay, and then you can also add a button here. Okay, and that's how you create your ad, basically. You can do the same thing with video. You can also do, just so you know, if you do video, you could also do like a slideshow where you can select a video, or you can create a slideshow of like a bunch of images that kind of go like this, basically, is where you can create those square template slideshows in here. So the sky's really the limit on your imagination. In fact, I would go back to when you offer hacked, remember, and you saw those ads, and find the ads that have a lot of various shares and comments, because you know that there's a good chance that those ads are working, otherwise they wouldn't be on. Label your ad very, very carefully. So I would say this is like my MLM direct sales Facebook live video, let's say. Now, once you've done this, if you're using an existing post, you can actually duplicate this if you wanted to like split test the copy. Okay. In this case, there's not too much to split test on a post that's already there, because you can't change things around. But on create ad, you can absolutely, most definitely change up, like split test. So I could basically take this ad right here, and I could go over here, and I'm going to close this out for a second, and I could duplicate it. And it's going to ask, do you want to duplicate it in the existing campaign? And the answer is yes. And I do want to tuck it right in the existing ad set. I want it to literally go inside. And the only thing I want to switch out maybe is the image, which I don't think let me just grab a stock image. Let's see. Flowers. Let's see. Okay, let's grab that one. Confirm. Okay, so let's say that's the image. So I've got two ads. Maybe they've got the same copy. Just split test one variable. I wouldn't try to split test multiple variables because it's going to be hard to tell what's really working. So you can see how these are both tucking inside of that one ad set. Okay, so then once you've got your ads and you've got your split test set up, now what we're going to do is we're going to go up a level. We're going to go back here. We're going to go to the ad set level. And we're going to set up all the things we need to set up over there. So this is ad set 1. Now the biggest part about the ad set is the budget. Like I said, the budget, the placement, and the audience targeting. And this is really where the magic happens with Facebook ads. Okay, so basically it's going to say, all right, you chose conversion, but we want to know what conversion are you wanting to optimize for. Now, for those of you who are just going to simply set up the lead conversion, you're only going to have one here that's green, and it's the lead. For those of you who got a little fancy and wanted to put a standard event on all the pages, like you're going to have 3 to choose from. Do you want to optimize for leads, purchases, or initiating checkout? I think the one that you want to start with is optimizing for lead. Eventually, you could come and set up campaigns and optimize for purchase as well. And that would be, those ads typically are a little bit more expensive, but they also find the cream of the crop in terms of people on Facebook. But for now, let's just do lead. Okay, so we have lead. So now we're going to go to the budget. I have heard and have experience with the fact that Facebook needs about 50 conversions a week to optimize. So if you're going to only spend $5 a day to start because you're not sure, that's okay. But you should make multiple ad sets so that every ad set at $5 a day will be about $50 to $100 a day. I think it's better to spend a concentrated amount of money in a short burst of time to to be able to audible your funnel than it is to drag it out. So what I mean by that is, if you've got $500 of testing money, and again, you really should start with some testing money. I mean, I know Russell says $1,000 in testing money, but if you're on a budget, $500 of testing money, you should spend $500 within, 48 to 72 hours. So if your ad set is at $5 a day, you're going to need to have like 20 ad sets to get to $100 a day, right? So if you want to set your ad set to start at like $10 a day and try 10 different audiences, that would be $100 a day. You're going to hit 500 in 5 days. Okay, so that's kind of reasonable. So set your ad set based on how many audiences you think you're going to test, and I would try to test as many as possible. So here's where we get to the audience. Who are you targeting? The good news is that Facebook is super smart. So that means that you don't have to get crazy with this. If you have any list or buyers, you definitely want to create a lookalike audience, because the lookalike audiences tend to be better audiences right here, where you can, grab lookalikes of people who have purchased your content already. If you're starting from scratch, you're going to have to go into cold waters. It's going to take a little while, but it's okay. So choose your location and choose your age. You can also, if you're not quite sure what your age of your avatar is, then just test. So let's say 25 to 35-year-old women. So I'm going to say women, and I want to go after people who like Tony Robbins. Okay. So I'm going to do that. That's a pretty big audience, 4 million women. That's pretty big. So I may tighten this up a little bit and go 30 to 35 to try to get it a little bit smaller. Now let's say I'm targeting entrepreneurs, right? I'm targeting people who are in the online space. I might also do something like this. I want people who are Facebook page admins and like Tony Robbins, although that just made it bigger. So actually what I want to do is I want to narrow the audience. And what this will do, there we go, that's much better. I'm looking for women ages 30 to 35 who like Tony Robbins, who are also Facebook page admins. And why does that matter? Because typically if you are an entrepreneur, you're going to have a Facebook page. If you're just a regular person on the street, you may not have a business page. Okay, so that would be a way to kind of narrow down the super big audiences. 930,000 is perfect. I love it. So I'm going to say Tony Robbins, women 30 to 35, and I'm going to say Facebook page admins, and I'm going to put 930K so I know how big the audience is. Okay, so that's my first audience. So once you go down here, now you can also save this audience. You can exclude people who like your page. So if you're looking for really cold waters and you don't want to target existing followers, which I'm not sure why you'd want to do that in this case, because your followers are probably warmer. But you could also save this audience and write it so that you can then use it again and again and again. Then the next thing is automatic placements is going to automatically place this wherever Facebook thinks is important. I typically turn off Instagram when I'm building Facebook ads, because my Facebook ads are different than the ads that I'm going to do for Instagram. So I would probably just do Facebook. I typically turn off Audience Network, but you could leave it on if you want. And so I just keep all the Facebook ones on. Okay. And you can get really, really granular with this, and I just kind of leave all of this. If you're a beginner, I just leave it pretty basic here. So I'm going to take that off here. All right, so that's kind of how you do it. You can also just do mobile or just do desktop, okay, however you want to do it. Once you're done at this, right, then what you can do is you can duplicate this ad set if you want. Now, if you duplicate it, keep in mind it will also duplicate the actual ads, okay? And we don't necessarily want to duplicate those ads, or do we? It depends on what you want to do there. Okay, I want Instagram off. There we go. Okay, So if you duplicate it, just know it's going to duplicate those ads inside of it as well. Okay? Once you're done, you can create another campaign, and this campaign you can do just for Instagram. Okay, so you can create an Instagram ad. You do the same thing. You create a conversion campaign, and you would call this the Instagram campaign. And I'm just going to put ad set, add one. So now this one, when you go in, you may want to, again, you're going to optimize for lead, and you can grab your saved audience here, and then you're going to go to your placements, and you're going to turn off Facebook and audience network and messenger, and we're just going to do Instagram. Now the feed is usually square and the stories are vertical. So if you're going to do an Instagram feed one, I'd make a square graphic, versus if you're doing an Insta story, I would make a vertical graphic. So you can get super specific, and I recommend you do, because the way, like, you see how this is a story, you can look here at the media requirement. It'll show you exactly what it has to look like in order for it to work well on stories. Okay? So once you've got that set up, you've got the audience set up, you can go into the ad, and you'll see that the, hold on one second, let me go back up to the ad set here. And we're doing this one. And I want to make sure we set Insta Stories. Yep, okay. So we go down there, we go to the ad, and we're gonna, let's say we're gonna do a video. It's going to show you, it's going to say, hey, it's got to be 15 seconds. It should be vertical. All right. Video specifications. This is how it's going to work. So you select the video, and then you can upload your Insta Story video here. Okay. And then obviously you want to send them right into your funnel. Everything is going into your funnel, into your funnel, into your funnel. Okay. So that's how you set up your ads. Once you're done, you can hit review and publish. My recommendation is that if you're brand new to this, that when you set up one campaign with one ad set, publish it, get it reviewed, get it up and running. Because if it's not acceptable and you've duplicated it, you're going to have all these ads get disapproved. And from Facebook's perspective, that's going to be more alarming than if you just have one ad disapproved, and then you can go back to the drawing board. So I would say, before you get all excited, like, send one up, publish it, make sure it gets approved, and then come back and you can keep duplicating. All right. And so in the next video for the next mission, I'm going to talk about, just in general, how to look at your funnel and figure out what's working and what's not working. So we'll do a little math and kind of get you situated there. But so go build your campaigns. Again, better to run some testing money. That's like more money in a short amount of time, to give the pixel a bunch of chances to fire off and optimize, so we can see how your funnel is actually doing.